Now just look at me and don't worry about the camera.
Over there?
And I will occasionally pop over this way to look at the viewfinder, but
And
that
then I
will
just look
just
at you
stay over here at the invisible me that used to be there.
Okay.
And, okay, your name and how you spell it for TV land.
Karla Lawson, Karla-Lawson.
And what do you do?
I do the morning show at the Big 98.
And so, let's talk about Darius. An interesting property in country music, wouldn't you say, to say the least?
He is, because he's known to people. People have loved his music for years, back when he was with Hootie and the Blowfish, of course. Very familiar, a voice that's instantly recognizable. You know him right away. And so when he joined country, it just seemed like a natural fit, like you know this person.
And when music like that comes around, what did you think? I mean, obviously, he was part of the, hey, let's get into country music wave, right? Did you, now, as a country music person, and as a country music talker, did the industry kind of loathe the, hey, let's get into country music wave?
Well, you're always suspect with anybody that comes along, because it seems like if they are not successful in one area, they're like, hey, well, if I can't make it here, I'll go country, which instantly makes us very, very angry, because, you know, we want people that are real, that love country music, that are in country music. And so, yes, at first we're thinking, is he one of these people? But then when we listen to him and you realize the songs that he writes and the life that he lives, this is really him, and it's just a natural progression of his life that he ended up in country music. It just seems to fit.
Obviously, people say he's Hootie.
Right.
And you would like to say what?
Well, he's Darius. That was one part of his life, and this is the new part of his life. And I think that's coming through in his music just loud and clear.
Now, as a person in the country music industry who works around it, who sees it, who talks to everybody, that grasp for credibility was a tough situation, don't you think, for anybody?
Of course it is. It was very tough for him coming in, but it was amazing how quickly country radio really responded, because we can sniff out people that are just faking it, and you could tell that he really was this person. This is who he is. He's not putting on airs. And so I think that's why we embraced him so completely and so quickly, because he wasn't just trying to be a country artist. He really is a country artist.
Now, when you're talking about Hootie and the Blowfish albums and stuff like that, his older stuff, do you think there's like a ton of people in country who are country music listeners who probably have a copy of Cracked Rear View?
I'm certain that there are, but I also bet that there are a lot of people that never knew that music before and know him now only as a country artist. So, yes, he's bringing those fans along, but he's getting a whole new generation of fans that never knew his music before.
Because that was my question, because I know a lot of people have a copy of Cracked Rear View sitting in their collection somewhere.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people who are country fans that had a copy of Cracked Rear View sitting in their collection as well. So, I mean...
Are you saying that it seems like the same type of music?
Right, right.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, I think that there were tinges of that back then where you just see that this is just who he is. He's being who he is. Yes, it fit that era back then, but now in country radio and where we are as an industry, it fits us completely now too.
Now, do you find country fans to be the only buy country music, or do you think they just kind of bop around but mostly stay in country music?
I think that they can kind of feel their way around as well. They do enjoy other music, but they are tried and true. And once you become a fan of someone, you are a fan for life, and you will stick by them. And that's one thing I think that country fans are that other genres really are not.
Right, you can have a 25-year career in country music.
Absolutely, yeah. In the pop music field or any other field, that really is unheard of. But in country music, goodness, if you have one or two hits and you have that fan, you have them for life, and they will follow you all across the country and buy every record that you put out, and that's pretty amazing.
And so let's talk about this. You said he's the first African-American country artist to really make it since Charlie Pride.
Right.
And I don't know if Charlie Pride compares completely with Darius. They are two different types of country, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I definitely would think that that's the case. But there again, there have been some other African Americans that have tried to be in country music, but there again, they were pretending to be. They were trying to fit a mold. They weren't just being who they are. And I think that's what you'll find is that the realness, the accessibility. Charlie Pride had that. He was just being who he was. When he played on country radio years ago, they didn't reveal that he was African American at all. People did not know until they went to see him live in concert. It was really a shocking thing back then. Now, of course, you know, with social media, everybody, of course, knows Darius Rucker. It's just a non-issue, and that's why he was embraced so fully, because he's just being who he is. He's not pretending to be a country artist.
Now, a lot of people think of country music as, I would say, two different types of country music. There's cowboy hat country music and baseball cap country music. Wouldn't you say that there's kind of a difference?
There could be a little bit of a separation there. I can see that.
And Darius definitely fits into the baseball cap kind of country
He's
music.
a baseball cap kind of guy all the way.
And so when you heard him for the first time, or you heard that Darius Rucker was going to go country, what was your first reaction?
Well, I knew immediately he wasn't going to be a cowboy hat kind of country guy. And when I heard his voice, I thought, wow, it seems like this is where he was meant to be all along. It just seemed like this was who he was, and the writing especially, which I knew that he was coming to Nashville for quite a few years, working with other writers. He's a huge country fan, and that's another reason that I knew that this is something that's so real with him. He loves Rodney Foster, other people, huge influences on his music personally, even back when he was with Hootie and the Blowfish. So I knew that this was something that he was really coming to town and just really wanting to be real about what he was doing. So yeah, he definitely didn't fit the cowboy hat thing. The baseball hat is much more casual and much more who he is.
And I was going to say, let's see, what's